think after, I don't know, what, 25, 30 years now, I would have learned never follow the rock. But here I am. Anyway, thank you all for being here. And I just want to take a second to thank our partners for tonight, which I thought was a spectacular evening, but I just want to take a second to run through that. Lincoln Financial Field were amazing partners, as well as the Eagles here, and Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia Visitors and Convention Center, all made it possible for us to be here. You know, I feel like when we come into these cities and we sort of take over, in many ways, it's imperative for us to have the right partners in those locations and in those cities, and it couldn't have been any better than it was and is right now here in Philly, still continuing. And thank all of you. It's a packed room. I don't know if the guy before me had anything to do with that, maybe a little bit, but I really appreciate it. We also have, just over the course of this week, other partners that were instrumental in us being here. Partnership that we have with Michael Rubin and Fanatics to create a WWE World, which is, you know, WWE is such an impactful part of so many people's lives that I think in many ways, as I've seen through my career and everything I've done, it touches people's lives, whether it's this unbelievable form of entertainment where they can just escape from their everyday things that they have to go to or go through, or whether they're dealing with some incredible hardship or whatever is going on in their life, whether it's 3 hours on a Monday or 2 hours on a Friday or whatever that is, where they can just shut off, escape, go into this fantasy world and just be there and experience everything, the energy, the excitement, the ups and the downs of that, and just make them forget about everything that's going on in a place where they can just go enjoy. WWE World is a place for those people to come together and be in that environment, in that world, so to speak. And it's an incredible partnership. I think that as I got to experience a little bit over this weekend, fans seem to just be incredibly excited about and excited to just be in that environment. We look forward to doing a lot more with them on that. Our superstars this week appeared in so many things. Dozens of television shows, podcasts, The Tonight Show, First Take, The Today Show. Pat McAfee was doing his entire ESPN show from WWE World. Joe Tessitore and SportsCenter are probably still live upstairs right now. That's been incredible. Also, our community outreach here has been just an awesome part of what we do. I think for our superstars, our staff, for all of us, it's probably one of the favorite things that we do in these environments. When we come in for a WrestleMania, we're here for a week, for us to be able to connect with Make-A-Wish kids from the area or from all over the globe that come here to be a part of WrestleMania, whether it's Boys and Girls Club and supporting that, or Special Olympics. It was an amazing experience here for our superstars and hopefully for them as well. So I just wanted to mention our partnerships with them. Last night was the highest grossing SmackDown of all time. And I'll back up from that. Raw in Chicago leading in was the highest grossing television event that we have ever done domestically. SmackDown, highest grossing of all time. This afternoon, NXT, Shawn Michaels and that crew set a record for NXT, which I just want to take a step back and just, my hat's off to them. What they've accomplished in the last few years with NXT has been nothing short of amazing. You see kids there that from the time they very first stepped through the ropes for the absolute first time, within a year to 2 years, are just lighting the world on fire, and you can see that future developing right before your eyes. Every time I watch NXT now, to me it's like a breath of fresh air, because I think like, wow, our future is just incredibly bright. Like all the talent that we have, and I see what Sean is doing there, and I see what is set up behind him to come next, and it's incredible. So proud of them for getting that back to where it needs to be. It's nothing short of remarkable. Tonight, the biggest WrestleMania of all time. We said it a lot, and we'll have more numbers tomorrow and Monday, but we broke our all-time single night gate record here tonight. That is something that Nick and I and the team spend a lot of time pouring through, is how to increase that, but yet still remain in that zone where anybody can come to a show. We're not pricing our fans out of the market. We are very conscious of making sure that everybody out there can enjoy WWE. And that's important to us. So it's not just all about the money and the numbers, it's about making sure everybody can take part. 75,542 in attendance tonight. Amazing night for us. Was incredibly excited. I thought the show was spectacular. I thought talent delivered. Mother Nature wasn't the most cooperative with us this week, throwing everything at us from small earthquakes to some very cold and windy weather. I'm glad it didn't rain, but it was a bit chilly at ringside. I don't know if any of the other talent talked about it, but I've heard quite a few stories about wind gusts that just put a chill through people. And when you're having to be physical in what we do, that's a difficult situation. So my hat is off to the talent tonight, all of them. I could go through the matches, but I think everybody here would have the same opinion. They just all put on a tremendous performance. And I would want to single out Rock, because when you don't do this on the regular, it is incredibly difficult. That could be physically the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, is trying to do this on occasion. And for him to come back, for him to want to come back and do this, I know his passion for it, the goosebump things I've been watching for 30 years with him, and he has the passion that we all have for it. There's absolutely no form of entertainment like this on the planet. Nothing else can do that for you. So I know why he comes back, but the dedication, the sacrifice of somebody that does not have to do this to come back and entertain our fans, to, as he said, to create a new mountain for himself and take that challenge. My hat's off to him. This is not easy. What he did is not easy. And he looked like he'd never missed a beat. He looked like he was in better shape than ever. He looked like he was moving as well as ever. Remarkable. And I also just want to say thanks to him, because, again, he doesn't need to be here. But I appreciate, I think one thing that's always bonded in some way, he and I know he said that we had a conversation earlier, which meant a lot to me, for sure. But the thing that's bonded us in a way is our passion for this. No matter all the other things that were going on, we both understand that deep inside his DNA, this is what he loves. And same for me. And I think that is a bond for the two of us that can never be broken. And I think we've had a blast here in this journey of creating the final boss and all that it means. If you told me a few months ago that he would have gone down that road of turning heel, I would have thought you were insane. But the second it was brought up, there was no doubt that it was the right thing to do. So excited for it. This is a unique situation where night one of WrestleMania feeds into night two, and the story carries on. How does Cody overcome? A lot to think about overnight, and a lot to see tomorrow. So excited about it. We're just getting started, and as I said at the beginning of the night, when I was fortunate enough to be able to go out there and experience that crowd, this is a new time on all levels. Dwayne just said the same thing. New time, new era, and we're just getting started. So I don't see this as the culmination of the hard work that's been happening over the last year, 2 years, or whatever. I see it as the launching point. I see it as this is the start. This is the beginning. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Start off in the third row.
Philip Up, Awful Announcing. I have a two-part question. Just take me through tonight as your first night as head of creative, and what did Paul Heyman's comments mean to you in his Hall of Fame speech last night?
Well, so to talk about Paul Heyman, he is one of the greatest minds in this business, the greatest talkers in this business. So, you know, if you have that level of respect that I have for Paul Heyman, and then he's standing on that stage on a night that's supposed to be about him, and he is saying those things about you, it's incredibly meaningful. I was very touched. Paul and I always have had a wonderful working relationship. His Hall of Fame ring has an insignia on the inside. They can get whatever they want engraved on the inside, what's important to them. Paul said, I leave it up to you. He would have to tell you what I wrote in there, if he would want to, because it's between he and I, but if he wanted to tell you, he could. But the word that I put inside of his ring is exactly how I feel about it. So, meant a lot. As far as what tonight was, just incredible. You know, it's a very personal business for me. And I hear the word, and everybody will read into this, whatever. But I hear the word, oh, I love this business, or oh, that guy loves this business, or this person loves the business. I love this business. I hear that a lot. But I see it in certain people. And there's as kids say, there's levels to that, right? So there's a certain passion that you just can't take out of people. When I said tonight in the ring, I live for this, I meant it. I think it's the greatest form of entertainment in the world. And I want to see it continue. I want to see it thrive. I want to take it places it's never been before. The team that we have is incredible. I want to work with the most talented people in the world. I want to work with Nick Khan. I think he and I make magic together. I do. I want to work with Rock. I think he and I make magic together. Have for 30 years. You know, it's all about creating new stuff, taking it places it's never been before. So, as the first one, sort of, or as the first night of WrestleMania, that was in my role, unique to me and my responsibility. It was incredible.
Mike Hoppinger, ESPN. Triple H, you mentioned earlier, you know, how impressed you were with The Rock, and of course how difficult it is to do this after not doing it for 11 years. And as somebody who's been on both sides of it, both as, you know, one of the best performers, but now on this side as well, is there anything that Rock did that really impressed you above all else that you could pinpoint? And also maybe that was a surprise?
I think so. It wouldn't be the physical part, right? Because I think he loves this, and he's going to throw caution to the wind. He's going to do it, right? And it's going to be amazing. But he's going to go all out in that. When you've done this a long time, and you're around it every day like that, you see composure in people that I can spot it in people now. It's my job to spot it in people now, right, to some degree. So I can spot it and tell you who's comfortable, who's not, who's running through a bunch of stuff and doesn't feel it, who's just doing things. The most impressive thing to me was his composure and his being in the moment and his feel. So I could see him feeling everything that was happening. I could see it resonating in him, and I can see his composure. When you haven't done this for a while and adrenaline hits you and you're in front of all those people and man, you're zoned in, shit moves fast and you move fast with it, and you think you're not, but you are. And it's the thing that you see stars that have been doing this a long time that have really gotten to that next level, that there's a calm. He was calm, and to be gone that long and be that calm and that composed and that in control and feel and let it happen and feel it and digest it and then let it come out of you, and there's not very many people that can do that, because that's the part that escapes you. You still do all the same stuff maybe, you still know where to put it all, you still know the reactions that it might get, but that composure is what makes the magic. And he still has that magic. He still feels every single bit of it. It's, again, though, it's why he gets the goosebumps, right? Like, that's a part of it. So if I was to say anything, it's that composure, having been gone that long, that just, to me, that's awe-inspiring.
Hi, Paul. Isa
Hi.
with Lucha Libre Online. Congratulations on an excellent night.
Thank you.
I just wanted to go over the decision of starting the show with Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. I think the start of the show is as important as how it ends, and it was awesome to see the women kick off the show tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, look, everything goes in the show for a specific reason and to where it sits for, and it's not a perfect science, right? In many ways you're feeling it, like I just talked about, right? So what's the feel of the show? But I don't know that clearly in this night with The Rock here, you're closing with The Rock, right? Clearly. But when I looked at the rest of it, it wasn't even a choice for me. Like, yeah, that Becky and Rhea are going to open the show. That is, I know it's going to deliver. I know it's going to be incredible. I know they're going to go at it right from the get-go. The entrances are going to be spectacular. Like, all of it is going to work. So when I look at it, to me, it's like, what do I want to launch this with? What's my first step out of the gate? And there was no doubt for me. And I don't look at that, and I've said this before, I do not look at that as, the women or they deserve this or they deserve that. Like, it's not that. If the women are put in the spots because it's the best spot, right? And I truly believe that. I don't think about it in that manner. I don't think the women should go here, or and to me, if I was thinking about it, as we're putting all this together, in my mind, if I was thinking about it as to like, maybe we should put the women in that, like maybe we should do something with the women there. We haven't done that for a little bit. Like, well, then how is that equality? You know what I mean? Like, it's not how it should be thought of. I see every athlete we have is the same. Doesn't matter to me, male, female, anything else, doesn't matter.
Hi, Brandon Thurston, Wrestlemania. I was wondering if you could give us an update on the status of Brock Lesnar. Is he still under contract? And was there a plan for him to return at the Royal Rumble at any point? And is there any consideration for him to return at this point?
So there, at one point, there was a conversation with Brock about Royal Rumble quite a long time ago. Right now, Brock is home, being Brock, and we'll see where that leads to, from here. But the status is the same as it's been before. Brock is not gone from WWE. He's just home being Brock.
Final question?
Jan Murphy, Post Media in Canada. You talked a little bit earlier about Shawn, and Shawn's perhaps most famous for his WrestleMania appearances. Sami Zayn continues to have amazing WrestleMania appearances. What do you see in Sami that might be similar to what we saw in Shawn? Big time, performer on big platform like WrestleMania.
So a lot of people would look at Sean back then, even now, and they would see Sean as this like spectacular performer, right? Like the moves that he did and all these spectacular things that he did. You know, Sean was doing a lot of that at a period of time, maybe before everybody else was, which is why I think so many younger talent resonate towards him, because he was so good. But the thing that made Sean so good was his ability to pull emotion out of you. It wasn't the moves. The moves were like the special effects. Sean is unbelievable at getting emotion out. So when you hit Sean and he goes down and he sells, you feel bad for him. And you want him to do better, and he just can get that emotion out of you. When Sean begins to then make a comeback and begins to fire up and begins to put that anger out or whatever it is, that aggression out, you believe it and you buy into it, and he's a pit bull when he's on you. It's emotion. We sell emotion. We build stories and sell emotion. It's not the moves, it's not the spots, it's not the sequences or whatever, however people want to say it. It's emotion. Yes, those things all lead into it, but without it, it's just a video game or it doesn't mean anything. What you saw in Sami and Gunther tonight was two people that are geniuses at pulling emotion out of you, and that's Sami's calling card. Yes, he does spectacular things, but his ability as a performer, as an actor, as a whatever you want to call it, to pull that emotion out of people is awesome, and it's why he's in the spot he's in. It's why he's as good as he is. Thank you.
Paul, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us.
Thank you all for being here. I'm guessing I'll see most of you tomorrow, so thank you. Go home, get some sleep. I'm going to try to for a couple minutes, and then start working on tomorrow. So thank you very much for being here, and see you tomorrow.